Today, we're confronted with the closure of yet another factory that's been a long-standing part of the community, providing hundreds of valuable jobs. It's a tough situation to witness. Earlier this week, Frito-Lay, a subsidiary of Pepsi, shut down one of its manufacturing plants in California, resulting in the layoff of hundreds of workers. The plant, which had been in operation for over 50 years, stopped production earlier this week, leading to a significant wave of layoffs. This plant was a cornerstone of the local community, producing chips for many of Frito-Lay's most well-known brands, including Doritos, Funyuns, Cheetos, and Tostitos. While we don't have official numbers on the number of workers laid off or the details of the severance payout, it has been reported that some workers received several months of pay, which is somewhat reassuring. There are many factors involved in this situation, and PepsiCo has been quite reserved about the exact reasons, so we must rely on educated guesses. It's important to highlight that the layoffs were confined to the manufacturing and administrative staff. The campus in Rancho Cucamonga, California, also includes warehouse, transportation, and distribution operations, all of which continue to operate robustly. This indicates an ongoing demand for distribution, logistics, and transport, but not for manufacturing, at least not at this particular facility. Before we dive into the specifics for California, let's take a look at some broader factors contributing to the current business landscape. Companies are finding themselves in a position where consolidating operations and increasing efficiencies have become necessary strategies, often leading to layoffs. One major factor is the uncertainty surrounding tariffs. Predicting the direction of U.S. trade policy in the coming months is a challenge for most, which leads companies to hesitate in their spending. Additionally, persistent inflation remains above the Federal Reserve's 2% target, prompting fiscal tightening. This situation makes borrowing more expensive, so companies are inclined to keep more cash available. Finally, fears of a recession are causing consumers to cut back on their spending. As a result, companies like Pepsi and Frito-Lay are adjusting their production levels to maintain a balance between supply and demand. Pepsi is undoubtedly keeping a close watch on Coca-Cola's recent strategic moves. Coca-Cola has outlined a specific plan that includes reducing its manufacturing capacity and outsourcing much of this work to third parties, even if it means layoffs. The idea is straightforward. By concentrating on core areas like research and development, marketing, and communications, Coca-Cola can enhance its focus on these key aspects. Meanwhile, by delegating logistics and distribution challenges to others, they simplify their operations. It's possible that Pepsi might gradually adopt a similar approach, as it seems like a logical step forward. Newer factories are constructed differently from older ones. Just like houses from 50 years ago differ from modern builds, factories now are designed with more automation in mind. This makes them better equipped to leverage advancements in robotics. The Rancho Cucamonga plant, being over 50 years old, reflects a different era, with inherent inefficiencies typical of that time. It's likely not a coincidence that much of this troubling news is emerging from California. In just a few days, the state has seen the closure of 3 factories. While each situation is distinct, and no one has directly pointed to the local business climate as a contributing factor, it does prompt some curiosity. Although I'm not an expert on California's regulatory environment, any insights into this situation would be valuable. In the face of numerous significant macroeconomic challenges, there's a limit to what any locality can do to ensure that good jobs remain intact. However, proactive communities collaborate with employers to seek solutions and anticipate potential issues. It's advisable for any city or town concerned about the possibility of a local plant closing to initiate these discussions sooner rather than later. For the workers, the unfortunate reality is that they'll need to seek new employment in a challenging economic environment. I sincerely extend my best wishes to anyone whose job has been impacted, as these situations are undoubtedly difficult. Regarding chip production, I am confident that Frito-Lay had already determined how to create additional capacity, if necessary, before closing the factory. This planning seems to be the most significant aspect of the situation. Did Frito-Lay or Pepsi determine they needed fewer bags of chips? If that's the case, it could lead to speculation about a slowdown in consumer spending. This might also indicate that these layoffs are just the beginning. Unfortunately, there are several other data points that support this theory. For instance, there are the previously mentioned factory closures. More concerning is the widespread closure of restaurants. Hopefully, they relocated their manufacturing capacity to benefit from a more efficient setup, increased automation, or to create jobs in areas where a localized supply chain might be more beneficial. It's important to consider that it's not only the US implementing tariffs. Retaliatory tariffs from other countries could require companies like Frito-Lay to move some of their production overseas to shield themselves from these tariffs. If this is the case, it would be quite an ironic situation. A company that focuses solely on cutting costs risks being left behind when its competitors introduce innovative ideas. Whether it's a new flavor, combination, or look, these fresh concepts can leave others trailing. Fortunately, Pepsi and Frito-Lay are charging forward with a variety of new offerings. Here's a small sample. Doritos Twisted Queso brings a delightful cheesy and spicy combination. Fritos Lime and Jalapeno Twists offer a tangy and spicy twist. Doritos Guacamole makes a welcome return after 20 years, and Popcorners Jalapeno Poppers add a spicy kick. And all of these have been launched since late April. That's the full scope of what I've discovered regarding the recent factory shutdown and layoffs. I sincerely wish the affected workers all the best as they navigate through this challenging time. On a larger scale, I hope Frito-Lay overcomes its challenges and thrives, as that would lead to more delicious flavors for everyone and hopefully more job opportunities as well. Lastly, if you enjoyed this, subscribe to The Coconut Mama on YouTube at youtube.com/@thecoconutmama for more.